engage them right away so they'll love Rotary too. We're on to O, and O is for being open to opportunities, listening with an open heart and an open mind. Your members will have ideas to make your club more valuable and more relevant to them. Be open to suggestions in how the club is run, the way the members are coming together for meetings or socially, your projects, and for other benefits your members want. As you listen to your members, be open to adapt and innovate, to better serve, to engage them in what they are interested in, and to make them love Rotary. Being open to new ideas will energize your club with new service opportunities as well, and maybe even some new partnerships in service with other clubs to do a Rotary Day of Service or other organizations or individuals, increasing our impact and expanding our reach while we enhance engagement. Let's put all of those action plan priorities right to work. So V is about our core values: friendship, integrity, diversity, service, and leadership. These are more than just words to Rotarians. We live these values every day. So use our core values and our other guiding principles, like the object of Rotary that we started this segment with, as your guide, as the foundation of what makes us Rotary, as you respond to the changes that your members want. E is for energy and enthusiasm. As club president, you set the tone. You can be inspirational, be transformational, be fun. Everybody does this a little differently. Think about your own strengths and your own gifts. What is most important is to be yourself, to be authentic, and to be relentlessly positive. Remember, your club members selected you to be their club president and to lead them. When we meet the goal of our members loving Rotary, we accomplish great things. The first of which is to truly engage our members, providing value and relevance to each of them as part of Rotary, as we then turn to serve our community and the world. If we truly engage our members, everything else good will follow. Just remember, you don't have to do it all. Your job as club president is to listen to your members' needs, to be open to opportunities to make change, to stay true to our values, and to set the tone with positive energy and enthusiasm. Maya Angelou is quoted as saying, "At the end of the day, people won't remember what you said or did. They will remember how you made them feel." Make your members the center of your attention. Make them feel cared for, respond to their needs, and they will love Rotary. You have the power to lead differently. You have the power to make your members love Rotary. It's all about your leadership and your focus to engage and serve your members first, to change lives. The world needs Rotary now more than ever before. This is Rotary's time to shine. This is your time to shine. You've got this. Have an incredible year ahead as you serve to change lives. Thank you so much.
That was so inspiring. I know that everybody on this call right now just wants to have you talk for another hour. So we're just going to let you know it was
no.
Because first of all, it's good to see you. And thank you for being here. And the why is so important. That is something that is just so important to hear over and over again, and innovation, and how clubs can continue to innovate, not only within, but in their community as well. So we're going to do a little bit of Q&A if you have a second.
Okay.
We'll have a few minutes
My
here.
pleasure.
If everybody can just type in the question in the chat, make sure it's clear question so we can see it. But I want to start with, speaking of innovation, are there any innovative ideas you've been seeing on the road in your region, in the Rotary world, that just stand out for you for clubs to adapt during this challenging time, besides just the hybrid, obviously? Anything interesting that stands out?
That's the big one, isn't it? And how to best do that, because what we're seeing our clubs and even different levels of Rotary, trying to figure out how to make our meetings, our gatherings interactive and valuable to both sides, right? Whether you're online or there in person, and that's been a real challenge. So what I see, Patrick, I think there have been some silver linings to this pandemic and this tragedy of COVID. And one of them is the fact that we now know how we can leverage technology. We don't want it to take over our lives. We don't want it to replace the face-to-face, but how we can leverage technology to allow us to do more things. And I think about from the board level, I've been able to participate in board meetings as an observer since July. That never would have happened before. I would have only been able to backbench starting in February. So it's given us an opportunity. It's given me and the other directors-elect an opportunity to see the process and learn how to work within that structure more quickly. And when our time comes, we'll be able to hit the ground running. So I see us being able to take advantage of that same concept. Now, you have a lot of president nominees at LoneStar Pets. Many of the other multi-district pets don't have the space or didn't have the funding to allow that to happen. So let's use this concept and make sure we're bringing more people in. I heard an idea today about that there was a repeat president, and that individual didn't want to come to pets. And so there was some agreement with the governor in that district that there had to be a way to interact and get the information from pets back to the club. So the club sent different members of the club to the different sections of pets. The good news is that they came back and they made reports to the entire club. And so that whole club got to have some of the inspiration and some of the information that we get at pets. So I guess that's one of the silver linings I've seen. The other thing I've seen is clubs rethinking their fundraising and the whole prioritizing what it is that they do, almost like we've been doing in our own families, right? Because of the pandemic, we really have taken this time to prioritize what's important to us. So I think that would be the best way I could answer it right now, Patrick. Do you have any great ideas? Because I'm always open to some great ideas.
Yeah, and I think the opportunities, not to, no pun intended, Rotary opens opportunities, but we are at a time where there is no rule book, really. Go and try something out as long as you're following under the 4-way test and you're honoring Rotary. But let's try new things, see what can happen, and let the community know that we're the place to go to, because we are the #1 service organization on the planet. There are a lot of, you're getting so much love in the chat section, it's not even fun.
Oh,
So you gotta look at all the love. So inspiring, and everyone's loving the talk. One person's asking, do you do presentations like tonight's at districts and clubs? Because they'd love to hear it and bring you to their districts.
Upon invitation, I'd be delighted to, yes.
That's awesome. Can we have club members who live in different Rotary districts? I think that's something that's getting confusing with the new passport clubs and people from all over the world. So can you have members who live in different Rotary districts?
Yes, so for instance, it's interesting, even during a pandemic, and I'm just going to speak of my 2 zones. We've had 5 new Rotary clubs start this year during the pandemic. One of them is a global e-club. So for a while, all of us are e-clubs, right? Whether we like it or not. But this club was formed specifically as a global e-club, and they have members from all over the world. So yes, absolutely, those members can live in different places. My husband, Tim, who you heard about a little bit in the bio, is Pilot Tim, and we're part of the International Fellowship of Flying Rotarians. Well, he told me forever that he would never be a Rotarian. But guess what? He just joined the E-Club of Aviation, which is actually, it was chartered in Scotland. So my husband, who lives in Reno, Nevada, is part of a E-Club of Aviation that's counted in District 1010 in Great Britain and Ireland. So yes, absolutely, you can live in a different district. That wasn't the original purpose of Rotary, but we're figuring out now what works for people. And our goal is to serve our members. So if it works for them to belong to a group that meets in a different way than what we are used to thinking about, let's be open to that as a way that we're growing our family, that more people are getting involved in Rotary. These are like-minded people who share our core values. This can only be good.
Absolutely. And that's so cool that he gets to join a club in Scotland. And I always encourage people, go visit clubs right now. This is the perfect time. Everyone's online. I go visit New York all the time, once a week. I'd love to go see. I think there's a list of clubs still on my Rotary, I think, where people are meeting online. Go visit a bunch of clubs and get to know people all over the world. Again, you're getting still some more love, which is awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Let me ask you this. You're talking about service, obviously, number one. Is there, besides RILA, which by the way is very close to my heart and many people on this call, RILA is an incredible program. What is one of those service projects that you were a part of, or you helped do logistics and get organized, that just has sat in your heart forever, just really touched you and made you that Rotarian that you are today?
Well, there's a couple of, there's a few, there's definitely a few more, a couple that are highlights for me. One was doing a national immunization day against polio in India. And that is something that truly changed my life and gave me a different path in Rotary. That's just an incredible experience. And I'm so looking forward to the day when we have completed our job of ending polio in this world. And it's also so exciting to see how we're using the knowledge, the leadership, the experience that we had fighting polio to help with COVID. So that's one. Another one was kind of piggybacking on the RILA experience. I was invited to go to Benin, Africa to help with a RILA camp there. And that was a really interesting experience. Their RILA camp was primarily Rotaractors, so young adults. But it was very much an academic setting and very much about sharing Rotary information. They sat in these hard plastic chairs in like a conference room situation. And they wanted me to come and do team building exercises, more of the experiential learning activities that are more common and more popular in North America, I would say. And so that was a really interesting process of figuring that out. There were 3 languages spoken in this group, this Rotaract group in this RILA camp. And so I always went ahead of time and talked to the translators and told them what I was trying to do so that they had a better sense of what the outcome was of what we were talking about. Because I tend to talk fast, you can see this. Can you imagine trying to translate me into French or Portuguese, on the fly, doing an activity with young adults in doing like a toxic river, process or something. So yeah, that was another really exciting one.
That's special. I don't think you mentioned this in your talk, because I always like to ask Rotary leadership, how were you invited to Rotary? Because I think it's important to tell that, because I think sometimes we get sort of stuck in Rotary in a sense where we're just talking to each other and we don't think, hey, let's go ask our neighbor. Let's go ask our friends. So how were you invited to Rotary?
Was kind of interesting. So I was an electrical contractor, commercial electrical contractor in Northern Nevada. And a couple of people that I knew through business, one was an accountant and one was an attorney, invited me to come to Rotary. And I'm ashamed to say, but I think it's probably more common than we like to think, I didn't know a thing about Rotary, but I was looking for a way to make some additional business contacts and to help my business. And so I went. And I loved it. I just thought the people were so interesting and so great. And so when I was invited to join in those days, and maybe some of your clubs still do it, they did a fireside, a smaller group of people that gave more specific information about the club. In fact, I think it's a fabulous idea to do a fireside, in fact. And one of the comments was, well, there are very few women in Rotary. And I thought, that is the oddest thing I've ever heard. What does that mean? So I said, well, what does that mean? And how many women are in the Sparks Rotary Club, which is my home club? And the answer was, counting you. And so that was my experience of becoming the first woman in my Rotary Club. It was not my intention to break any one of those barriers. I just loved the people and I loved everything that they were doing. And it's been a 29-year experience now, and I'm still in the same Rotary Club.
That's incredible. And I just always like to think, if that person didn't invite you, you might not be here today. And I just always like to bring that up. It's like, ask your friends and family. You are truly, your enthusiasm and your passion for service, for innovation, for Rotary. We feel it. We feel it. You have woken us up.
Okay.
We are all, I mean, that chat, take a second and look at all those chats, because you're
Thank
getting
you.
so much love. And you know, I always love seeing you. You're one of my favorite Rotarians. It's really good to see you. Thank you so much for your insight and for your call to service. To honor your time with us tonight, we are going to make a donation in your honor, in your name, to the Rotary Foundation. And we want to just thank you so much for being here. We wish you all the best ahead, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. And again, you've got this. Have a great year ahead.
Thanks for coming tonight. Well, that's a wrap for tonight. We hope